I am the founder of Vegan Fit for Life, and I am so happy to connect with you. I was able to completely transform my life in a positive manner by finding the gym and by changing my nutrition so that I was eating appropriately for my body. And I am very happy and very excited to be able to share that with you. Thanks for joining us. We're going to do a hip mobility exercise. This is just opening up the inner thigh. So we want to have all of our weight here on one foot. You can hold onto a wall or something for support. And we're going to contract the core. Make sure you're lifted up and out of that stationary hip because we don't want to be sunk down into the hip joint. So lift up and out, contract that core, and then bring the other leg up. We want that leg at a 90-degree angle here. We're going to bring it in towards the body and then rotate it out and open. So contracting that bottom leg is going to help keep it stationary. So hold here, count of 5, and bring it back in across the body and then open it back up. So contract this standing leg, contract the glute, contract the core, and that keeps you from rotating and taking the stretch out and instead transferring it down to the lower back. So here, up, 90 degrees, bring it in across the body, and then take it out to the side. Contract that standing leg, contract the glute on the standing leg, and open up through that opposite adductor. Back to center. So we want about 3 to 5 openings on each leg. Hold it open for a count of 5.
Right, for our side plank clam, we want to start in a side plank position. Knees are bent, arm is directly underneath the shoulder. You're going to press up. The bottom knee can rest on the floor, but mostly we want it slightly above the floor. The band should be above the knees, not on the knee joint. And then the feet are lightly resting on each other. So you're raising that top leg by contracting the glute. You're pressing the knee up towards the ceiling. The only place you really should feel this is in the glutes. You're going to feel it in that working leg, the top leg, as you open up the hip, but you're also going to feel it a lot in the bottom leg of the glute that is supporting you. So both glutes should be working quite a lot. You are going to feel it a little bit in the core, and you want to make sure that you flip over and do the other side so that we're getting equal work.
All right, so we are going to work on rolling out the psoas. The psoas is one of the biggest muscles in your hip flexor complex, okay? So the job of the psoas is to actually hold the leg, your thigh bone, onto your body. Yeah, we have the bone and all that, but and that goes into the joint. But your psoas, it attaches in here, and then it goes up inside the rib cage and attaches onto the pelvis, onto the spine. So when we have chronic hip flexor pain or chronically tight hips, it's often that the psoas is super tight, full of adhesions and super tight. So going over those stretches that we have excuse me, outlined in the program is huge for lengthening the psoas, but it's not going to do the full amount of good unless you roll it. Now, rolling it is uncomfortable. This is a 5-inch ball. It's made out of the same kind of rubbery, hard, squishy material that the foam rollers are made out of. What we want to do though is we're going to lay on the floor and do this obviously, but you want to start here, okay? You're going to roll it over the hip joint, and then once you cross the hip joint, you can feel that you have your actual hip bone here, the pelvis. So you're going to cross the hip joint, cross that pelvis, the bone, and then we're gonna roll right on the inside of that bone, okay? Does it feel good? No. The trick is though to roll it over. You'll be right about here. Go ahead and stay there. What I want you to do is breathe, try not to tense your abdominals. As you breathe, as you exhale, you'll be able to feel yourself kind of relaxing around the ball. So we're gonna do that, we're gonna hold a little bit. When you do the saws, it's actually really, really hard to wait on the ball long enough for the pain to go away. So we're just roll, try to break things up a little bit, get some movement in there with the ball. Hold, see if you can release around it. Once you feel like it's released, it's actually not quite so painful. And then you can move your body so that you're positioned up a little higher. You'll be able to feel this psoas, so it goes here along the inside of the hip bone, and then it goes into the abdominal cavity and attaches onto the spine. So you can roll up here, right here, next to your belly button. Just go slow, and again, try to breathe and relax the muscles around the ball. We can get adhesions in the abs. Using a ball, you're not going to hurt yourself. If you're stabbing something into the abs to release that probably could hurt, but the ball, you should be pretty safe. The 5-inch ball is much nicer than the lacrosse ball. You can use the lacrosse ball, but it hurts more. It's a smaller ball. So we start here. Get yourself nice and comfortable. Get your leg on that ball. Take the other leg out to the side, you can. And then we're gonna push ourselves backwards. All right, there. Now I've pushed over. I'm just now going over the pelvis. And breathe. As you breathe, you really can feel your body kind of releasing and relaxing around the ball. It's not, I've been doing this for a while, so it's not terrible. Okay, once that's okay, roll, stay right next to the hip bone and roll up a little bit more. Once you get to like the waist, you go away from the hip bone and you'll be centered, where am I? It's about centered between the outside of your waist and your belly button, so it just goes straight up. Getting an anatomy chart, a chart of the muscles will help you with this. And you just kind of, little baby steps. When you find something that's sore, try to inhale. You'll feel everything kind of tense up, right? And then exhale, just try to let yourself settle onto the ball. It really does help to release that hip flexor, like you can't even imagine. All right, once we got up to the top there, where we're about even with the belly button, then we're gonna roll it back down, nice and slow. Try to stay relaxed. If anything feels, again, like it's super tight or painful, hang out there for a few seconds, couple breaths.
And this is our hip abduction. So abduction is always going away from the body. With our hip abduction, this particular exercise is a really good intro to a lot of the band work that we do to strengthen the hip, so the glute and the TFL. So again, we want to stand with that foot right under the hip. We're going to take our non-balancing foot, and again, holding on to something, table, chair, countertop, something that's stable. And so we're going to take that foot that we're not balancing on, and we're going to take it out to the side. Now, with hip abduction, it's very important to make sure you're pressing out with the side of your foot. A lot of people take the toe out. That's working more of your quad and your hip flexor, which, I mean, if that's the goal, that's the goal, but that's not what we're working on. We're working on hip and glute. So press that foot out. Make sure the side of your foot is going towards that wall. Not turning the toe out. That toe should still be pointed forwards the whole time. And you should feel this in the outer glute of that working leg. You're also going to feel it on your balancing leg because of using stabilization muscles while you're balancing on the standing leg. But anyhow, that is your standing hip abduction.